episode is brought to you by GameFound. Create a free pledge manager for your project.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
I'm Mike Delisio.
And we're here on Crowdsurfing, where we're taking a look at various games that are on Kickstarter and talking about them and our opinions on them. We always talk about games that are ending in the next 10 days or less. So if there's a game that you're excited about, but we don't mention it, it's probably we'll get to it in a future episode, or we've already covered it.
Right.
Well, probably not already covered it, because there ain't too many good games that were out the last couple weeks.
No, not so much.
But things are starting now. I'm actually pretty pleased about that. So we're not going to fool around, folks. We're jumping right into it here. So let's get going.
All right.
Go.
All right, so first we have Eternia, the expandable card game. And before
I think it's Eternia.
Eternia is what I would go with, yes.
My apologies. All right.
Don't apologize to this game. It looks very derivative.
Right out the gate. Well, before we go down farther, the first thing I notice here, I normally don't show off games that are small and aren't being backed and stuff. I look at games that have funded or close to funding or whatever. This one is funding by a mile, but there's only 88 backers. This is the number of backers and how high they're pledging is crazy. I went down and looked at the pledges here on the side, and there's $150 pledges, $200 pledges, $275, $500, and people are backing them. It's like there's a $2,000 pledge that 2 people have backed, and 7 people have backed this $275 pledge. That's a huge amounts for a card game.
Especially this card game. It's not. I'm with Z. This is not inspiring me with a lot of confidence. It does not look appealing to me at all.
This just looks so old and tired, you know? It's got that old artwork with the anime girls. It's like, really, we need more of those games still? Okay. And then the card frames look like some forgotten game you'd buy from the bargain bin at a GameStop. Come on. Really? This just looks like the epitome of been there, done that.
Yeah, and it's especially weird to me. Again, I'm going back to the price, but they're talking about games should not be about who has the bigger wallet. Has this person not played any non-CCG games in the last 20 years? And then if you're going to talk about games should not be about who has the bigger wallet, and then offer many, many $275+ pledges, I'm getting mixed messages.
Well, at the end of the day, there's 2 things I came away with when I looked at the entirety of the projects we look at today. And that is, first of all, deck building is alive and well, folks. Alive and well. And secondly, stop it with the made-up fantasy words. In the land of Glyphmondria, the harbinger of Gutha has come once again to awaken Griskaga, the stone of...
All right, you're doing my shtick now. Let's...
I am
you just sold me on that game.
Sick of that. It's just so tiring. Maybe it's only me, and if so, I'm sorry. Go enjoy your fantasy games. That's fine. I find very few board gaming things as exhausting as lame backgrounds in some fantasy worlds. You know what I mean?
No, but all right. Let's move on to something that's less exhausting. A 3D printable fairy mushroom dice tower. Now, this is in here partially because it's a dice tower.
Yeah,
also, because if you ever do get it painted, it looks amazing.
Yeah, it definitely has a cool look to it. And it's not, also, it doesn't look like a lot of other dice towers I've seen out there.
I think it's really cool, but here's the thing. First, you got to print it out, so you're just paying for the STL file, which is fine. You know, that's a thing nowadays. And this would take 15 hours to print, probably, but I would not be happy unless it was painted. This does not look great without it being painted. Sure. But when it's painted, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a cool kind of weekend project. You know what I mean? If you have a 3D printer, it's not getting a lot of use. You're just sitting there. It's a big investment. This is a good weekend sort of do-it-yourself project. Buy this file, print it out, spend a couple days, painting this. That's neat. And then even if you're not using it as a tower, you can set it on a shelf, and it's a cool mini that you made. So it doesn't look very functional. I will say that the dice tower part of it.
Yeah, it looks like you're dropping one die at a time,
One
which
at
is
a time,
problematic.
Yeah.
All right, Gunfight Royale. This is this picture with a guy whose head. It's like a chibi, a Western chibi, except it's not chibi style.
No,
I've got some
correct.
real issues with these miniatures, Tom. I really, really do.
Yeah. This is like really creepy chibi style.
Yes.
Well, the thing is,
it's like they took a real head and stuck it on a chibi body.
Yes.
And this company is a miniatures company. So like they're leading with these minis. They're like, hey, look, yeah, this is we got a game and everything, but look at these minis. And I'm thinking, no, I really don't want to look at these minis because they terrify me and I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
Actually, I'm not as strident on the minis. My bigger problem is the board. The board is not good looking.
Yeah.
Well, there's no video for the project. Obviously, they've had another one because it says from the makers of another one of the games, I think, in this kind of world that they've created, and I'm just not familiar with it. It's clearly funding, so it's appealing to a lot of people. This just doesn't appeal to me. I like the theme. I think we should have more Western themes, but this one's not making me want to play at all.
So if you look here at the giant.
Go ahead.
This giant here.
The only one with the right proportions.
Right. Isn't that weird?
Yes.
And they're a little closer to being right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The weird thing is they have this the old timer option, in which they give you normal miniatures where their heads are proportionate to their bodies, and they're almost making it seem like your boring old miniatures players will cave into your demands and give you normal looking miniatures. But really, you should be jumping on this new train where the hip kids are getting these, scary looking, big headed, like they look like normal people wearing big foam heads as opposed to cheap that look full, deformed on purpose.
Yeah. You know what? I'm now debating. I wasn't thinking about this before, but I might back and just get these figures and stick them in Western Legends.
Western Legends, yeah, I can see that.
Because these look good. I like these miniatures.
Those are metal, though. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know, but I'll have you put them together. All right.
Yeah, let's go with that. That'll work out well.
Epic 7 Arise.
This is making so much money, and I think it's because it's based off of a video game that I'm not familiar with at all.
It's based on an app, a video game app.
Okay.
It's great. The app is awesome.
Oh, you've played it?
Is it really?
No, I have not played it.
Oh,
my word. Come on.
This does not look like an app you'd be interested in, Z. Okay.
It's all right. I don't know if I would throw this kind of money at an untested studio. You know what I mean? It seems like people are really doubling down on this.
Yeah, I
liked the video game, so here's a bunch of money. It's done quite well. Here's a bunch of money for the board game. But, making a board game and making a video game are separate skill sets. This might not be a good board game. So
yeah,
it looks somewhat complex. I do like the miniatures, if only the fact they're very tropish for anime. I mean, if you showed me just this art and said, what anime does it come from? I'd be like, I'm pretty sure I saw these last night when my kids were watching anime. Up to this girl here with the black horns and wearing not much. And I'm like, yeah, I think I've seen that character in almost every anime.
Yeah. It's clearly got a lot of fans, and it's obviously going to be a very successful project. And, maybe if I were more into the app, I might be more, but nothing about the game.
I've been
is like
fooled by this stuff before. That giant RPG, was it Madara or what was it called?
Madara.
When I saw the artwork for that, I was like, I don't really like it. Then I played it and I really enjoyed the game. So this could be that again.
Yeah, but that's a total coin flip. This is such a coin flip,
Yeah.
It looks
really dislike this cover here for this expansion box, this For Hope. That's so tired. It's so, and it's also so it's like every other one of these games. But this is a cool dice tower library. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also filled with those goofy terms that are bothering me.
They sure got a lot of people to take a look at it, though. And we're talking even, a lot of different reviewers and stuff. So, and we'll have to wait and see.
I'm hoping it's good. More good games, never a bad thing. I'm just not sure. These things always give me a little trepidation when it comes to, hey, look at all this money we're making because it's based on an unrelated art form. It's like, doesn't guarantee it's good. We'll see.
All right. Now we have Call of Madness. So I know that there's a lot of Cthulhu games out there, but this one looks a little different than the other ones. It's not a go through a dungeon and kill stuff. Right. It looks closer to a Euro game. And here they got bust miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
I love bust miniatures, man. I wish more games would use them.
I agree. We were just talking about Imaginarium earlier, and it has those type of minis. I really like that.
I think my biggest concern with this particular game, if I said, would be just the name of it itself. If you say, hey, Tom, do you want to play Call for Madness? I'd say, or Call of Madness, I'd say, I'm pretty sure I've already played it.
Right. It absolutely does sound like 4 other games that are already out there. Yeah.
My big concern is I checked out the publisher because they've created 11 things, and I have not heard of one of these games. Not one of them.
There is a lot of small Polish publishers. Let me see if I've played any of them.
They've got that Karl Chudik. Interesting. Okay.
Oh, Blood of the Norseman. I don't think we've played that yet.
No, but I remember when it came out. In Impulse.
Did the insert for. I played Champions of Midgard, which they did the insert for.
I played Impulse, but this is the second edition. I only played the first edition of Impulse.
I didn't like Impulse.
Yeah, it was okay. It was all right. Oh, they did that Crash game too. So they've worked with Karl Chudik a lot. All right. We actually had Crash on our Crowdsurfing before.
Yeah, I remember that. Is this Karl Chudik? It doesn't. No, it's
no.
Simone Malinsky and Bartom. I'm not going to pronounce that.
It looks cool, man. I mean, it looks like it's got a little more personality than a lot of these other games,
Right. Yeah,
I mean, horrific artwork,
Right.
Yes.
I wouldn't have minded a different theme. I'm fine with Cthulhu, but I'm with you, Tom. It's definitely pushing the boundaries, and I don't think that you needed a Cthulhu theme for a tower defense game. So,
well, I do like you can play it on Tabletop Simulator and download the rule book, so you definitely can find that information straight out. Cool. All right, well, we'll wait and see. All right, here's the biggest Kickstarter of the week by far, and that's Primal The Awakening. This one is a series, from what I can tell, it's a series of battles, cooperative battles, where you're fighting against a boss each time. Mm-hmm. And you're making a deck of cards and fighting against these bosses. And from what I can tell, the miniatures are all oversized. They don't need to be this big and stuff, but they're doing it to add this kind of, well, first of all, cash, but secondly, to add a
table presence.
That you're fighting a boss here.
Right. Yeah, so this has been getting a lot of buzz in the solo gaming community. The kind of the solo content creators that cover a lot of previews, most of them have covered it, and a lot of them are very, very high on it.
Yeah,
what's that?
Saying very good things about it.
Yeah, they're saying very good things about it. However, even the ones that are saying really good things about it do seem to be putting a caveat out there that the miniatures are probably not completely necessary. As awesome, I mean, because I'm not gonna lie, these minis are amazing looking to me. I'm very, very, very into the look of these minis. But this is clearly a boutique game. You're either going to be down to pay this amount of money or you're not. That's all there is to it. I don't think they're not offering an option without these minis. So you either have to decide it's worth it for you or it's not. It does seem like the system has something to it because I've heard a lot of good things about it.
This is essentially very popular right now because the Monster Hunter thing the movie just came out, right?
Absolutely,
and so this is that same kind of style of things.
Well, I don't think this is popular because of that movie. Let's clarify that.
Sure, because of the game, yeah.
Yeah, that movie was nobody's seen that.
No, but there's been a monster. I mean, the books were pretty popular, and there's things like that. What else has this company done? Now, this is their third game.
They did an insert for Blood Rage.
Don't think I played it. No. I got to say, I'm pretty pumped about this one. I'm a little concerned at the price. The game is, from what I can tell, a lot smaller than the price would have you believe. But if it's as streamlined as it looks, it sounds and looks pretty, you're just getting out there and you're fighting a monster each time. I'm cool with that. Just dancing around the monster, hitting it, and avoiding attacks. There's not a ton of games that do that.
I'm a little concerned about storage, numbers of boxes.
Bucks.
It's not cheap, man. And I got to think about how much space is this going to take on my shelves? How many boxes are we talking about?
Whatever. You're just going to use the one in a Dice Tower library. Also, Look at this lady. She's shooting a harpoon. I don't even know how she's holding that bow up.
Where's the group pledge? I'm in.
The group pledge. Oh, I guess that's a theme here. This guy's hammer weighs more than I do.
The big hammer.
Yeah, this is basically miniatures, the board game. Like, you're buying minis, man. And nobody, come on, people, please.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that, Z, but I'm also hearing that the game is really good.
Cool, but also you're paying most of that $168 for minis that sound like they're not used much. I don't know.
They're prepping people for the Descent game.
yeah, that's it.
There was a game on last week's. There was a game on last week's. I think it was lineup that was not even funding yet. That looked more interesting than this. That just didn't have minis. They had standings. Yeah, and then you've got this thing making $2 million.
Miniatures sell, man.
They sell.
All right, let's go to the opposite size of things now. Mint Bid. This is the 5th game in the series. So there was Mint Works, Mint Delivery, Mint Cooperative. I don't actually know what the 4th one is.
Just actual mint. Breath mint.
Minty Fresh. No, I don't remember, honestly, Tom. We played Mint Cooperative, though. We
just did play Mint Cooperative. Yeah, that wasn't bad. I don't know if you've played it yet, Z.
No, not yet. I have one over here that I borrowed from you somewhere.
I like Mint Works.
They keep I like the 3. They're not showing the 4th one. They said this is the 5th.
They did? I didn't think there was another one.
Well, you know what? I can just open up the...
It says strong with the 5th game in the series. I mean,
Mint Control. Control. That one hasn't been delivered yet.
That's why. Area Control. Okay.
And so this one's about auctions with the Mint things. They got a gimmick, but I think the gimmick works for them. It's kind of like the Tiny Epic Games type thing, except these are really... They're not saying they're epic. They're just tiny little games. Yeah. I really liked Mint Works. I thought Mint Delivery was okay. Mint Cooperative, I'm still kind of gelling around, but I think it's, at worst, it's good.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It
was fine. It felt a little easy, but it looked like we could have played some harder modes for. Yeah, so I'm interested. And look, they're not charging a lot of money for it. Right. So
it's the very exact opposite of what you were just complaining about, Z. Here $10, you get the game. Yeah. That's a pretty good deal.
So, and they have fulfilled a number of projects, so they've got that going for them, too.
That's true. That's true.
Looks good.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to listen to Mark and Robert. We'll be back with some more games.
Hey, folks. Welcome back to the Dice Tower Preview Recap. I'm Mark, and today we are going to be building a cellular network. We are going to be joining a rock band and have epic adventures, and we're going to be trying to crush the machine uprising. All right, let's get to it. First up, we have 5G. This is where you're going to be building out a cellular network, trying to have the ultimate network. And this is a worker placement game where you'll be getting patches to install into your network and resources to help you fulfill contracts and things of that nature. Building out your different base stations and towers, again, to have that ultimate network. There's even a dexterity aspect of the game. As you're collecting data, you're trying to get the best data based on your security level and some different things. But it's an interesting aspect to the game for sure. Next up, we have Gods of Metal Ragnarok. Now, this was a really unique preview video. I got to team up with Markia McCarty from Hunters Entertainment, and she led me through the character creation process. A really, really fun video to produce. Something really different and unique for these previews. But this RPG world is definitely something unique and different. I love how the characters are created, and I want to adventure in this world. Some really neat aspects of your different types of weapons and the different characters and how they interact with the environment. Some really fun aspects to this RPG. And finally, we have Human Punishment, the beginning. Now this is where you're trying to crush the machines because they're releasing a virus into the world. But there's all kinds of interesting aspects about this because you never know who in the game is actually a human and who is a machine. And there's some other aspects around that social deduction in this game as well. And I love games that use the poker chips for like enemies and things, and they do this really well. But you're moving through the city, you're collecting data chips to put into the network, and hopefully you as the humans have come out on top. Now, this game is absolutely beautiful, and it's big and sprawling. Lots of neat aspects to this one. So, my pick of the week. Yes, Human Punishment is absolutely beautiful. It's doing really well on Kickstarter, but there was just something super unique about Gods of Mail Ragnarok. Now, I've played RPGs for a really long time since, well, a long time. So, but this one really has some interesting aspects to the world. I like the fact that you start out in Mundania, where you're maybe stuck in a job where, you know, you're like in this black and white world, kind of downtrodden and so forth. But then you're risen up into Ragnarok, into this rock and roll world, and you join a band, go on adventures. I really want to play in this RPG. And this video, again, was something unique and really fun and different. So definitely check it out. All right, folks, if you want any more information about any of the games I mentioned here, please go check out our full previews. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Hey, folks, and welcome to Fomo Rewind. We're sticking with the name. This is just a segment where I take a look at some older Kickstarter projects, see where they're at with their production and fulfillment. First up, we've got Oath from Leader Games. This was originally scheduled to deliver this month. It does look like it's going to be delayed until March or April. They did, however, recently post some pictures of some manufacturing control samples that look beautiful. Next up, we have Dark Tower from Restoration Games. This was originally scheduled to be shipping next month. They've been very transparent. There were some issues that their new update is going to be fulfilling in July. I have no reason to believe they won't meet that date. They did recently post an update showing some tech that I kind of geeked out on. Next up, we have Namiji, probably not saying it correct, the next chapter in the Takeida universe from Funforge. Now, this one was scheduled originally to deliver July of last year, and we don't have an updated timeline. They posted some pictures of the pre-paints, and they said a substantial update is coming at the end of this month. We're approaching the end of the month, so we shall see. If I had to take a guess, I'd say probably June to August delivery, based on everyone else. Next up, we have The Great Wall from Awakened Realms. This was originally scheduled for October of 2020. They did post back then it would be March, and now we are looking at May. I do have every confidence in their team that they will meet that new update. Finally, we have Star Realms Deluxe Nova Collection from White Wizard, another one that will be delayed. It originally was going to be November of last year. It looks like it's going to be July of this year. This was partially due to COVID issues and partially due to the fact that they just were unhappy with the printing and color. And I, for one, am okay when the delay is due to making sure that I get the best game possible. All right, so that's a quick rewind look at a few projects where they're at. Fomo Rewind will be gone for a few weeks. While I resume some Fomo looks, we're going to be looking at Radlands, the Ares Expedition, and also a look at Vampire the Masquerade chapters from Flyos, because their pledge manager is going to be opening soon. I'll see you folks next episode.
All right, let's just jump right back into things here. Napoleons Imperium, a 2 to 8 player game.
Wow.
So it's
That's
a
an
war
interesting
game.
Player count.
Yeah, I guess it's 4 on 4, and the complexity is a 6 out of 10. But that's for this.
Yeah,
and
whose scale is that? You know what I mean?
Right.
So let me ask you this: it says in the box here, just take a look at the back of the box. Number of players 2 or 8. Okay.
Now that's
So
interesting.
And then underneath it, solitaire suitability is high, 5 out of 10. Then why wouldn't it say number of players 1, 2, or 8?
Huh.
And if solitaire suitability is high, 5 out of 10, what does that mean?
Huh.
I have a lot of questions. You're right.
But also, here's the playing time. Did you see this, Z?
Oh yeah, no, that's fantastic. I did see that.
4 to 6 hours for a battle point game, 6 to 15 hours for a campaign game, depending on the skill of the players.
Whoa.
I don't know. Yeah. Look, though, if you're a war gamer, you're going to be all over this. Although I will say I'm not thrilled with the design of their tiles. Feels, I don't know, it just doesn't look that great.
I like the map.
That's kind of what they look like.
I like the look of the map, man. I think that's
the map is cool.
The map is
Compass
nice.
Games has made quite a few games, but it's just weird to me that player count and number time limit. It's very weird.
I wonder though, Tom, there must be a reason why war game chits look like that. There must be a functional reason why that has been determined to be the most, effective way to get across information.
Well, I know what it is.
You know what I mean?
It's attack, defense, movement, and I don't know.
Sight, maybe, or
L means here.
Laden. 7-1 laden.
Yeah, but there's no 7 there because the 7 is.
Yeah, these numbers don't seem to. Oh, because you're adding.
Adding the.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. I guess it's just a way to take, like, say, a collectible card frame with like an attack, a defense, a life, and you know what I mean, and putting that on a token, then they take over the corners.
Right.
It makes sense.
Yeah. All
I'm
right.
all over.
You're picking up a copy of that.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have Medium. Now, when I first saw this, I was confused because Medium is a very popular game. Well, I don't know, very popular, but it's popular to some degree for Greater Than Games is the one who published this.
Right.
Yeah. And this is a digital version of it. What's weird is this is a digital version that they don't want a lot of money for, which is weird to me because digital takes some investment, and also it doesn't seem like a lot of people are interested, but I'm interested because this to me is a good way to play Medium.
Right.
If you never play Medium, there's 2 words. Oh no, I'm sorry. You each have
you each have a word, right?
And then a different word, and then you both at the same time are going to say a word that's somewhere in between those 2 words, and you're trying to say the same word.
Yeah. It sounds like perfect. I mean, it sounds perfect for an app. It's
yeah.
Doesn't
you
have
one standing in line somewhere when you play it?
Yeah, absolutely. You type in the word, send. When you both have sent in a word, they're compared. Yay! I mean, so I don't know. I don't know why this is not getting a lot of love because it seems like a perfect match.
I mean, could it be like you said though, Tom? Because the game really, I mean, I think it was released out of Gen Con and it had a big splash, and then nothing. I haven't really seen this getting played much. I think it was maybe overtaken by other party games. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Card Weaver reprint. This is a competitive and, as Z and me both love, cooperative deck builder for 1 to 4 players.
Card Weaver. I believe this is derivative.
I don't
Those
disagree.
Are cutting edge card design right there.
I do like the box cover though. Isn't that a good, cool box cover? I think it is.
Nah.
Cool.
You do like the box cover?
I like the box cover. Yeah, it's cool.
I don't like the title at all. It's not the title of the game, but the font. I don't know. To me, that doesn't look good.
Oh, I was thinking more about the picture. I like that perspective with the houses coming up.
Yeah, the picture's fine. I don't like the lettering of the title, and I don't like the look of these cards.
Yeah, well, that I don't like at all.
I will say, if you look at that cover, you scroll much past it, of course, but if you look at the cover and then the cards directly below it, don't seem like they belong in that box.
No.
Those cards look older than that box. It's kind of like when you buy a Blu-ray or something from 1973, but they redid the cover.
Yes.
The cover is modern.
Right.
It's using new technology. Nothing looks pixelated. You watch the movie and you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. This is from 72. Right. That's what this is making me think of. These cards.
These cards look like planeswalkers, actually.
Yeah, they don't look like they're from 2020. There's no doubt about that. Or 2021 for sure.
All right, let's move on to a game people are going to be excited about. Tenors Trail. Now, this is an actual reprint of a game. The original game, Martin Wallace printed it himself, if I'm remembering correctly. And now Alley Cat Games is doing it. And this is definitely a different looking game than the original one is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like it's... Go ahead.
I wonder if when they made the deal with Martin Wallace to do this, that they weren't allowed to show the old game, because I would. I'd be like, this is the old one. This is how ours looks. Because folks, I can't show you the pictures here, but there's a huge difference.
Yeah, it's not just the look too. It sounds like there were some pretty significant tweaks to gameplay. I mean, it's now a 1 to 5 player game, I think, when originally it was a 3 to 5. They've made some actual gameplay adjustments. I think they've replaced how the setup is done. It used to be done with dice, and now it's done with maybe tiles or cards. So yeah.
This looks excellent. It's a great looking Kickstarter page.
Mm-hmm.
I love their stretch goals with the train track in between the steps. Yeah. This is fantastic. It looks really good. Is it going to be a game I like? I don't know. I've never played it. I doubt it. I'm not a huge Martin Wallace fan, but you cannot deny this is how you do this. This looks great.
Yep.
You know?
I enjoyed it. I'm curious to know why they did this rather than, say, Roxley, who did such great reprint of Brass. This is also a great reprint in a different way. It definitely has the Alley Cat spin on it. I think it looks nice. I enjoyed the game. It's been quite a bit since I played it, but I'll give it a whirl again when this comes out.
Also seems like the price is right too. That's a pretty reasonable price for the expanded version, $59. That's good.
All right. Fallen Land 2nd Edition Big Box and Descendants expansion. Now, Fallen Land, the first edition of this, we got, I don't know, it was well over a year, probably 2 years ago we got. And it came in, I looked at the box, looked inside, looked at the cards, and I was like, nope, and stuck it on the shelf. I was like, I'll get to this at some point. But I'm telling you guys, at least 2 or 3 people in person have come to me and said, Tom, we know the game doesn't look that great, but it's really fun.
It's got a good rating on BGG, but and I the theme is appealing to me, but and it's making a lot of money, so it must be something there. You're right, Tom, but boy, does it not look appealing.
I just wish that they're doing a 2nd edition. It's like, all right, now's your chance. Right. Make it look awesome.
Obviously, they've got enough money. They can make you can make a lot of money. Well, here's their comparison here.
Yeah, but it doesn't look that much different.
No.
I'm sorry. This could be the most exciting, engaging theme in the world, and for me, it is close. But no, I wouldn't. No, it looks terrible. That's a big part. That's a big part of what makes a board game for me. Okay, in my opinion, I don't want to play something that looks not just bad, but this barren, and just sort of this is the prototype you ship out to the company to see if they'll pick you up and actually produce it. That's what this looks like to me. I don't want to play a game that looks like that. I just don't. There's too many games.
Someone said in the comments it's fun, but yes, the graphic design isn't as good, but so much a good passion project. I don't care, though. I don't care if it's a passion project. If it's a passion project, then part of your passion should be finding the best graphic designer for your game. I mean, let's go back.
Look at
Tenors Trail. Look at this. Beautiful. It's
also let's look. How much is Tenors Trail making?
Tenors Trail is making 141,000.
141. How much is Fallen Land Plan making?
Almost the same. 130.
Almost the same. You see what I'm getting at here? I mean,
well, that's because this game has a following. Yeah.
Right, but if it's a passion project, you're making enough money that maybe it's no longer a passion project. Maybe hire a graphic designer.
Yeah, but you don't know that's what you're making the money.
Yeah.
This is all, I assume, a lot of people backing this because they are familiar with the first one or have heard good things about the first one.
Yeah.
If this also had just even just a little bump in the look, this would be making a lot more, I think, because you'd be getting a whole other subsection of people who would go into it for the look of everything as well. I'm thinking.
I still might play this at some point.
Well, Tom, I'm thinking it almost has to be a good game, because if this is people that have either heard about it from people that played the first edition or people that already have the first edition and are going to pay money again for the second edition, it must mean there's something there. I just wish it looked better.
There's one more thing, Mike, that stopped me from playing it initially, and I just remembered when I looked here. It's the time. It's 1 hour per player.
Oh.
So play with only half a player.
I'm done. Okay. All right. Oh, we're done with games. So some quick lists.
Oh, jeez.
Thank you. By the way, folks, if you have Kickstarters to send in, I'm not able to show all of them. I couldn't believe the amount that people sent me last week. But send them to tom@dicetower.com. The Poos You'll Do. So this here,
Right. You know, there's a line when it comes to these things
for kids
between cute and
Pooty.
ultimately disgusting. I think that this jumped 2 feet into the bowl of utterly disgusting.
I just think
I don't find this cute at all.
Because they're like, this is to help kids. You know, kids are nervous about talking about this. Have you had children? Because all my children have never been shy about talking about this.
No.
In fact, they talk about it to the point where you're like, okay, we have guests over. Too much information right now.
Right.
I love the video for this was quite interesting. It's basically a couple saying, hi, we've been together for a long time, but we used to never, like, we always were shy about pooping. We would put on music while the other player was pooping. But now, we don't care. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, they didn't quite say it, but they're, like, almost at the line where they're like, so when one of us goes to poop, the other one's right there. Like,
after we finished writing the book, we just took the door off the bathroom.
Again, this sounds like a personal thing to them, though. Like, I don't think it's a common thing with couples where I sit there and I go,
it was quite the heartfelt story about the strangest possible subject. And I was just sort of.
I don't think I'm all that squeamish, but that really, that did kind of gross me out. I'm not going to lie.
So this one's a weird one to me because it seems like a really useful thing called Hero Mammoth 2. This is a nasal nose filter that they call what it looks like. Like you stick this in your nose and you look now like a mammoth.
I don't get that. You look like a mammoth?
Like the nose. Look at the nose. It looks like the trunk of a mammoth.
It does?
Really?
It just looks flat up against the nostrils. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I guess I'm missing that.
Am I the only person seeing this? That's not flat against the nostrils. It's coming right at your nose.
Okay, I guess I missed that, Tom. I did not even realize that was the connection. I'm surprised this is not funding. It seems like a good idea. It seems.
Oh, sure. I think Z, because it's an eyesore to look at. I think it just looks a little like
it's almost made to be worn under a mask.
That's right. I was just about to say that. If you're wearing under a mask, then that's perfect.
Right.
Okay, so we don't just look at funny things. We have some cool things to look at. So I got 3 cool things in a row here. First of all, build your own marble track.
Fast.
Tom, all I want to know really quickly is how long before you backed it? Did you even get through the half of the page, or?
You know, I didn't back it, Mike, and you know why? Because I had to build it myself, and I don't.
Because you have to build it.
Also, for me, it's really cool to watch, and but you can't really change it, so it's going to be the same thing over and over again. That's all.
Wow, I thought you were in on this.
I considered it, but yeah,
a lot of work to build it.
Pass.
Thank you, Z. These look really cool. I actually debated getting some of these for our studio.
This is beautiful.
They turned all the microphones into lights. That's awesome.
It's a classy project, and it's a neat story. Everything about this, I'm 100% on board with. You know, live music has taken a big hit during COVID, and this is a music venue that said, hey, you know, maybe we can, you know, find a way to find some positive out of this. And I honestly think they look really classy, especially the ones that look like microphones. I think those are great looking.
Yeah, I agree 100% with everything you guys are saying. These are beautiful, stylish lamps. They really are.
Mm-hmm. I'm really thinking about getting one of these for the
They're a little pricey. You know, they're a little bit on the pricey side. But that one, like even that one right there, it's just a microphone in the stand, the cable going out of it, and then you have the mesh around the light. That is a gorgeous accent light.
Mm-hmm. It really is. And then even putting the pop filter on it, I think is a really neat touch too. I like this a lot.
And then finally, this one's a cool project. I don't know if it will fund or not, but someone's trying to preserve J.R.R. Tolkien's home as a public writing haven. Pretty pricey thing here. They need $686,000, but they've raised almost $200 so far.
Yeah.
The reason it's so pricey is because they're wanting to buy the house. I mean, that's
what you're on sale, right?
Yes.
And they want to buy it and restore it, and I guess eventually turn it into some sort of public space.
Yeah, really cool idea. I mean, I certainly hope they make their funding. I think it's a very, very, tough thing to pull off, but Pretty cool looking.
Yeah, I thought this is one of those ones where I kind of thought about backing it with no reward, right? Like, hey, here, take $10 or whatever, and I hope it succeeds. I thought it was a really cool idea, and I hope it does well. Well, who knows? So, alrighty, picks of the week. Anybody?
Ooh, I'll go last.
I've got one. I'm gonna go with that Call of Madness game. The one I hope is it's the one I'm hoping for. That I'm hoping is the sort of hidden gem of the bunch here. It's not necessarily getting a lot of traction, and yes, Cthulhu's a little played out, but I still like it quite a bit, and I'm hoping this one's gonna bring it.
Okay.
All right, for me, we're just going to jump one over. I know Z said just miniatures the game. I don't care. This looks like my style. You fight one big monster at a time, jumping around, hitting it. As long as it's not too complex, I'm pretty pumped about this one. And I also really like the miniatures.
Yeah.
All right, you can stay right there, Tom. Solo people out there, I hope you wouldn't be steering me wrong. I've heard a lot of good things about Primal, so I'm also going to make this my pick of the week as well.
All righty.
All right, I'm going to change my pick to Primal because I'm nothing
you already
out of shape.
You can't come in now. Boo
I'll
to
tell you
you.
the truth. My favorite project of the week might be the microphone lights, but for games, I think we'll go Primal.
My favorite project of the week is found at DicetowerKickstarter.com. Just 3 days to go, folks. So we're getting very close to the end. If you're like waiting to the last second, we ask that you consider that. We're going to get going here, though, because we're literally going to be back in 15 minutes at 2 o'clock with our top 100 games of all time. So we need to end here, but we'll be back next week with another Crowdsurfing to talk about all the games that you say, why didn't you talk about them this time? We'll get them next time. Until next time.